Today I'm going to be reviewing this Bowite solar powered floodlight that was recently sent to me by the brand. So let me go ahead and open this up, show you what you're going to get inside. I'll give you the measurements on it, those sorts of things. I'll also go over the brightness of it as well. So it's going to come with 2 packs. So I believe the one is going to probably be the solar panel, and then the other one is going to be the actual light, would be my guess. And yes, this is going to come with the solar panel and then also the bracket to mount it. Then you're going to get the cord that's going to run to the light, which I'll give you the measurement on that cord here in a minute as well. And this is going to be your light itself. Again, you've got the cord and then you've got the connectors for that. Now this can be adjusted, so you can loosen up these screws here just a bit to be able to adjust. Yeah, you're going to have to loosen these for sure. So this has like a little thing. It does come with it as well to adjust that. And then you're going to then mount those using these little screws that it comes with to mount your solar panels. Now it is going to come with these that you can use to mount it, I believe. I'm probably just going to use like actual screws into this, like, because I'm going to be mounting it on my barn into the wood. So to adjust this, I'm just going to take this little Allen wrench. I'm going to go on. Ooh, that is tight. Wow, weird. Okay, so it's going to come really tight. You're just going to have to unscrew that on the one side, and then the same thing on the other side. So you're just going to have to put the Allen wrench in, break it loose, and then once that's unscrewed a little bit, then you can just adjust it with this, I believe. No, you have to actually unscrew it with this the whole time. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to unscrew it with that, and then now it can adjust. And then once it's adjusted into the position that you want, so say for example I want it to be like that, then I'm just going to go and tighten this back down. So it's kind of interesting that you have to use the Allen wrench to loosen and tighten that every time. I definitely would prefer if you could just turn those little nuts. And then this is going to then mount, yep, right onto there and onto that side, and then you're able to mount it onto here. So that's going to be relatively easy to mount. Now, the main thing I want to look at is the measurement on this. I'm going to be trying to mount this inside of my barn. So my barn actually doesn't have any light. And so because of that, I'm going to be putting the solar panel outside, and then this light I'm going to be putting inside the barn itself to try and give myself some extra light during the day and at night on this. And I am going to see, let's see, yes, this does have motion activated. So I'm actually going to use the motion activated. So you go into the barn, the light should come on, and as long as you're moving, it should stay on. This cord is a bit on the short side though for that. So that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. Definitely would prefer a little bit of a longer cord. But let's go ahead and see what we got here. So I'm 4 foot, I'm at 5 foot, about 6.5 foot is going to be my cord length, and that's going to be from here. So like from the edge of the solar panel, I'm looking at about 6 foot to where I have to mount the light at. So you can't mount them a long ways apart. So there's something you're going to want to keep in mind on that. This is going to come with a remote as well. And that's going to come with batteries, so you can adjust the brightness, you can do a timer, or you can just do auto, which is what I'm going to use because I only want it to go on or off when someone actually walks into the barn. So that way it'll like stay charged. It's not going to just stay on all day long because, like I said, I have no lights inside my barn. So I'm going to go ahead and put the batteries on this. Let's go ahead and connect this up so you can kind of see what this looks like before I mount it. And then I'll mount it and show you what it looks like inside. There's going to be like a little LED thing. So this is just going to fit right into there. It looks like, let's see. Yep. Just kind of squishes. Doesn't exactly squish the best. And then this is just going to turn. So you might have to push a little bit. And then this just connects right into there. I'm going to go ahead and push on. And this might not have enough power to it yet. It may be mostly dead. Or it might be because it's light. Push on, off, auto. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So this is either I'm not making a good connection here, which is possible, or it's not going to have any charge to it as of yet. So let me go ahead and squish that in. And like I said, it may come entirely dead. Push on. Nope. Got nothing. Okay, so this is not going to be charged yet. So I'm going to go ahead and take this outside, get it mounted, get it charged, and then we'll test it out in my barn. So I actually didn't realize, so there's actually a power button here that you have to push and hold to turn it on before the remote will work. So that is going to be important to notice. It's going to be there on the bottom. That was the issue that I was having. So it does come with it charged already. Now the remote is going to have all these different functions. Unfortunately, there's no just motion detection function, which I'm kind of disappointed in the way that I was going to be using this. Again, I was going to be putting it in a barn. So it does have this one, which is 40% brightness all of the time. So you can see here, that's going to be this one, this little thing, sorry, 20% brightness all the time. And then with somebody within sensing range, then it goes up to 400%. But then that's going to work at night, which again, I'm putting in the barn. So then you can do a 3-hour time control. You can change the color of it. You can do 115% brightness and slowly decrease. Auto is 100% brightness and slowly decrease the brightness. So I'm guessing I'm going to go auto mode right now. Okay. So this is going to be on. Obviously, I'm not going to be in range of it. It says slowly decrease the brightness. So I'm not sure if it decreases all the way down to 0 or not, but I don't believe it does. I believe it's going to stay on all the time. And then if it gets motion, and no, then that just starts at 100% and at night. So it kicks on when it gets light. So right now you can see, yep, kicks off. Okay. So this is only going to come on at night, which is not necessarily what I want, because I'm going to be trying to put this in a barn where it is dark and I want it to be able to light up all the time. And so there's no 100% motion activation except for the PIR induction mode, which is add a night function. So it's only going to work at night. So when it's exposed to light, the PIR is not going to work. So it's going to be exposed to light. The light is not going to work. So I can't use that function in the way that I want to, unless I only want to light up the barn at night. And then none of the other ones. So these are going to be day and night. And then this is going to be on is just day and night, 100% brightness and slowly decrease brightness, right? So I'm just going to push on. And then it says slowly decrease brightness, but it just slowly decreases the brightness as the battery runs down. So I'm not a fan of that either. Now, what I could certainly do, and I may just do this, is just use the on-off button, right? Because I can just use the remote. I can just mount the remote in my barn and just use the on-off button when I'm wanting to go into the barn. I want some additional light in the barn. I can just push the on-off button. Like, I could certainly do that. I definitely would prefer if it had just a traditional motion sensing. So it's off when there's no one moving and it comes on when there's motion. I definitely would prefer that, versus the only one that they have that works so that is going to be night. I'm going to have the solar panel outside, so that wouldn't work in my dark barn. So definitely kind of a downside there. So I got the panel itself mounted, and I'm not a fan of the design of these screws at all. They have wing nuts behind it, but they're really short. And so the way the wing nuts kind of go onto there is kind of annoying, truthfully, to be able to get those on. But anyway, got it mounted. So now I'm just going to run this cord through here and into my barn. So it is installed. As you can see, it is on and it works. You can actually see the little green light, so it's showing that it is actively charging. So that's nice. My solar panel is outside and then the light is inside. Now again, I'm probably going to go with this one just because of the way it is. You can kind of see my barn. So it does have some light, but it's not the brightest in the world. So I guess I'm going to do the motion sensing one, which means it's going to automatically come on when it gets dark, and it's going to stay on just at 40% unless it detects motion, right? So not the end of the world. I definitely would prefer if it was just motion detection, as if it's on at 40%, 20%, whatever it said it was, and then motion detection makes it higher, then that is going to mean that it's, if I need to come out here in the middle of the night and get something, the battery's already going to be dead. So I definitely would prefer it was 100% motion detection, but it definitely does work. Now I'm going to go ahead and push on so you can kind of see what the brightness looks like on this. And then you can do like 3-hour, 6-hour. You could set auto, which auto is not going to come on until it is daylight or until it is nighttime. But you can see that. And then I can adjust the brightness of that. You can change the color of this as well. So you can go yellow, yellow, and white, whatever you want on to that. But I'm just going to go with the motion detection. And so then that should shut off here in a minute because it is bright outside. So overall, definitely a good product, but just a few things that I would definitely prefer with it.